Good evening. I'm Cassandra Joan Butler, Agent 56, with the CIA. I love saying that, the Cosmic Intelligence Agency, and an astrologer in Buffalo, New York, that loves to share with you on Wednesday nights for Cosmic Connections. So we're going to talk about the astrology of the week, and we're getting real close to the big full moon. It's not an eclipse, friends, but it still packs a punch because it's part of the eclipse cycle that we've been experiencing in September. It peaks on Monday, by the way, at 11. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 8:48 p.m. That's Pacific time, and 11:48 Eastern Daylight Time on Monday, the 6th. So it's going to look increasingly full this weekend. It's going to be gorgeous, but the exact opposition occurs on Monday. That's the full moon. So what that means for us is that as we get closer and closer to the full moon, we're going to receive more illumination regarding the messages, the activities, the thoughts, the goals that we were putting together in our lives on the 21st of September. So always think in terms of an inhalation at the new moon, an exhalation at the full, and at the exhalation full, we become illuminated. We can see in the dark. So just be aware that this weekend could be a little bit more anxious than normal, but I always love what's called the gibbous time of the month because our intuition is off the charts. It's one of the most psychic times of the month, and that starts around Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So watch your dreams, watch your impressions, trust your gut, and we'll talk about why everything feels a little topsy-turvy right now when we get to the charts, even more than normal. All right, so welcome. Hi, Maria. Hello, Nancy. Hi, Terry. Hi, Jen. I'm sorry to get back to you, but this is the season. I have just been doing a lot of juggling. Barbara, hello, darling. Hello, everybody. Big hugs to you. I really appreciate you stopping in. Deb, hi there. Good to see you. See, I see your names. I just see you, right? I feel your energy, and it really helps me to talk to you as opposed to just talking into the wind. So I really appreciate your presence. I know a lot of people watch this after the facts. They can't be here live. It doesn't matter to me if you're live or if you listen to it or not after the fact. It just gives me great satisfaction to be able to share because it really is, that is, astrology really is a beautiful method of connecting with the divine creator and knowing that we're not just these random flecks of individual consciousness. We're part of a bigger matrix. That's my read on it. So, and as we are counting down to a big date, I always going to be saying this all the time, Saturn-Neptune conjunction on the 2nd of February in 2026, it's really critical, I think, for us to focus on our own gifts, our own superpowers, and connect those with your connection to the divine. And I'm not here to evangelize any one name of the divine, but to connect with who you feel connected with, because we are living in very unprecedented times. We all know that. It's, pretty entertaining, I guess, some days, and some days is downright depressing. I will say this to you. Since I've talked to you, I've had a lot of aches and pains on my right side. It's always the right side. And I have some fabulous healers in my life. So they were helping me move about. But I talked to my primary, left a message for them tonight. I said, you know what? I think I have a little bit of a issue with my ear, the right side. But enough about me. How are you all doing? Are you feeling a little out of balance? Because the focus of the fall equinox, which of course began on the 22nd of September, is for us to get balanced. And so we don't know what we need to get balanced with unless something is in our face and says, hey, by the way, you're not in balance. And so I'm definitely experiencing that as a Libra rising. So where we find Libra, we're looking to find balance in our lives. And I'm going to bring the chart into the room and talk about that. And the full moon is going to give us the action to take to create that balance in our lives, right? So Aries and Libra are the polarity we're speaking about in the next 4 days. Aries is the warrior and Libra is the peacemaker. And we're seeing these themes reflected perhaps in our own lives, me with my right side not being balanced. But you can look out there in the society and say, oh, we're talking about the warriors, the big warrior meeting yesterday, a lot of question marks in the USA. But we're taking action. We try to keep it right to ourselves because I don't know about you, but I don't think we have a lot of say in the bigger picture, but we do when we take care of ourselves. Here's our full moon. And I love this full moon. I love the Sabian symbol. By the way, I've made a commitment to myself, and thank you for your appreciation of posting Sabian symbols on my pages daily, because it will give you a little bit of a sense of the theme of the day. And I started that on my second birthday. My second birthday was on the 28th, the 29th of September. That's when the sun was at the same degree of my rising sign. So I thought, it's like a second birthday. That's what I call it. So when you take a look at your rising sign, friends, try to track. I can help you if you don't know how to do this. It's just very simple. If you have your time of birth, you have a rising sign, and that rising sign has a particular degree in a particular sign, and track when the sun is at that degree. That's your second birthday, right? And personally, I've been feeling more vital and vigorous since that date. And that was my conversation with myself, that I'm going to be tracking the Sabian symbols on a daily basis. So check them out on my website. And if you know someone's birthday today, you can share that Sabian symbol. All right. What's a Sabian symbol? I think most of you know what they are. They're esoterically derived word pictures for each of the 360 degrees on our astrological wheel. And of course, on a given day, since we have 65 days in a given solar year, sometimes we'll have the degrees, 2 degrees in one day. So it gets a little confusing for people, but we know that we were working with a sphere in astrology. This is the chart of the full moon. So the full moon, again, I said it peaks at 8:48 p.m. That is going to be Pacific time, 11:48 Eastern time. And I'll start with the Sabian symbol. It's a really interesting one. I'm reading here from Mark Emmett Jones. An Indian weaving a ceremonial blanket, projecting into everyday living the realization of wholeness and fulfillment. That's our goal for this full moon, to balance fulfillment and wholeness within ourselves. And there's a lot of allegory about the robe, like putting your own robe on, your ceremonial blanket, as it were. Find yourself being clothed in light. Meditate on yourself being wrapped in a garment in the next few days of protection. Some of you who are spiritually motivated may talk about the light of protection. In many religions, we talk about the light of protection. It could be the Holy Spirit light. It could be the chakra light. But practice that in the next couple of days, because it might get a little rocky and rolly. And the full moon is about the blanket protecting us, a ceremonial cloth. And it's also called the immortal body being bathed in light. So that's a good image for your sense of meditation or your prayer life. We are told that the fulfillment of desire is a possibility at whatever level and in however incomplete a manner it might be experienced. So the idea that this full moon is fulfilling and it's in this degree in Aries. So you want to look where 14 or 15 degrees of Aries is in your chart, because that will give you a little bit of a template of how you're feeling that feedback from the world in your own sense of being surrounded by your own light. Okay. A lot of esoteric things here. The full moon is creating a beautiful yod for us. You know what a yod is? It's called the finger of God. It's when we have one planet as in conjuncting or making a 150-degree angle to two other planets. So this is a really interesting yod. So the full moon is in conjunct the south node. The south node is the emptying out as it's transiting. So the question is, how can I get the garbage out of my life? Whether it be attitudes or literal garbage or recycling or whatever. And that full moon in conjunct Mars is saying, but I have no energy to do that. I've got these great plans. So be aware of that. Don't get too frustrated with yourself. You probably have a plan between now and the full moon, and you're saying to yourself, I really have to stop doing X, Y, and Z. I want to take the trash out. The trash out can be interpreted in any way, right? Trash talk. Trash this, trash that, but I have no energy. So be patient. You're patient with yourself, because at the light of the full moon, you'll find some avenue to take action. Remember, the full moon's in Aries. This is the only time of the year we have an Aries full moon. Now, what's going on under the scenes has been the Uranus sextile Neptune, and that's been one of the themes of this year. That's still going on. It's paving a new way of imagination through science or technology. That also signifies the rise of AI or the rise of doing anything in a new sense. Neptune's imagination, Uranus are tools that come from technology or a higher order of things. So that continues. That has been continuing. So find a new way of tackling an imaginative goal. All right. So maybe it's time for you to learn how to do a PowerPoint, or I have no idea, or to use and integrate AI in your life, or how to set up your phone. I have no idea, but that's going on this whole year. So that's an afterthought, but it's not specifically connected to this full moon. This is what's causing the ongoing feeling that the world is falling apart, and there's just so many things that we're having to deal with externally. Chiron Eris is exactly conjunct in the sky. Chiron's the wounded healer. Eris is chaos. So we got to heal the chaos, right? So sometimes you might say to yourself, oh my gosh, everything and everyone seems crazy. Let's heal now. We don't have a lot of input externally, but when we heal ourselves, that by default helps the chaos. So I want to remind you of that. That's really big. It's really big in the US's chart, because Chiron in the US's chart is in Aries. So we'll leave it at that. Sedna is conjunct Uranus. Oh, that's another interesting storyline, because Sedna is this princess who would not listen to her father when he told her she had to get married. She said, I will not listen to my father, the boss. Or you might be feeling that too. I will not listen to the authorities or my boss or my husband or my kids. Okay, sometimes it's my grandson. No one's going to tell me what to do. So that's conjunct Uranus, and it's creating this sense of independent thinking. It's not necessarily a bad thing. And speaking of thinking, Mercury and Black Moon Lilith, Mercury just slipped into Scorpio today, right? Scorpio rules secrets. Scorpio rules research. And Mercury wants to know what's really going on. What's really going on? Everybody wants to know what's really going on. And it's conjunct Black Moon Lilith, which can be very, cutting edge controversy. Well, that's going on this week, right? And I thought, well, I always like to look at the news, and this is what's going on today. It just came down a couple hours ago. I thought this is really interesting. Let me share this with you. Um, Regarding the Diddy trial, right? So we've been talking a lot and thinking a lot about the First Amendment in the United States regarding, freedom of speech. Well, we know Scorpio does rule in the shadow side, sex, right? So the prosecution said that his actions presented overwhelming evidence of Combs' guilt under the Mann Act for prostitution-related charges, and so he can't use the argument that porn words or porn acts are protected by the First Amendment. So that just came down a few hours ago. But that's going to be very, very close in the sky as we get towards the full moon. So it's just kind of a little aside that I want to share with you. All right. So let's take a look how this full moon is going to be emptying out with your chart, because it all starts and begins with us, right? If you are an Aries or Aries rising, the full moon is activating you. It's making you a little bit more aware of your own charisma and your courage, and just bathe in that ceremonial blanket of light, and be proud to be who you are. You might speak out in situations, in relationships, and have this extra bit of confidence. But remind yourself that the time before the full moon sometimes is a little bit anxiety provoking. So just exhale and leave those conversations until the full moon is passed. That's my advice for you, Aries. If you're Taurus or Taurus rising, it's all about your sense of self-worth and value. Now, self-worth and value is also connected with income, because when we are worthy of being remunerated for our skills and talents, that's a second house issue. That's a second house issue in astrology. So that's activating the Taurus's sense of money and abundance. So this is a great week, especially after the full moon, to ask for that raise or do what you can to maybe turn a hobby into an income applying situation. For Gemini or Gemini rising, the full moon is activating your sense of communication, research, writing, teaching, and getting yourself very organized. For Cancer or Cancer rising, you're putting your attention on the home and family and trying to take care of your details, clean the clutter out within the house or home. For Leo or Leo rising, wow, it's great for you to be in your creative mindset, to play a little bit. This full moon is activating fun and joy and creativity. For Virgo or Virgo rising, the full moon is saying, hey, time to take care of yourself, your physical self, especially eating better, sleeping better, moving better. So it's about health and taking care of routines that can create a more healthy you. For Libra, it's all about your relationships, right? So Libra, look back to approximately Passover and Easter time week. All right, way back when, in March, April time, because this is a testing ground about your relationships, Libra or Libra rising. You may be looking at something that you are in a relationship with someone and you're saying, you know what, these things aren't quite working the way I'd like. And so you have a discussion again after the full moon. Scorpio or Scorpio rising, it's all about your sense of personal power, your sense of resilience, and the ability to rise from the ashes. It's in your 8th house, which of course is the Scorpio house. Sagittarius is a great week to plan a trip, take a trip, teach a class, learn something new, expand your horizons. For Pisces or Pisces rising, take a look at your career and say to yourself, I need to make it more efficient and I need to be more the authority with my career. I'm trusting my own sense of self. For Aquarius, it's time to take a peek at yourself and how you are relating with your friends and how you're trying to connect with others in a social sphere. By the way, just a little aside, At 6:29 Eastern time tonight, I was driving with my grandson. We looked up at the moon. He was talking, "That's my moon." I said, "No, honey, it's not your moon because your moon is actually in Libra." He's 3. He knows everyone's moon signs. But the moon was conjunct Pluto. So this may have been an intense early evening for most of us, especially for the Aquariuses. So this upcoming week, it's all about your friends and your groups and your associations. And okay, wait, I missed someone, or did I not? Did I already say Pisces? Well, Pisces, it's time for you to rest, relax, and retreat if you need to. All right. There you go, friends, with this full moon. Hi, Jojo. Hi, Kim. Did I miss anybody? Maria, Donna, Roll Jelly. I know who you really are. Hi, Cynthia. Hi, Joe, and Joni. Hi, Audra. Hi, Candy. Good evening. Okay, we're going to do our messages in just a moment, darling. Hi, Valerie. Yes, you are an independent thinker. My goodness. Hi, Mary Grace. Hi, Elaine, Jamie. Great to see you. And, Jamie, I want to wish you a happy birthday. I was on your site. I think I wished you a happy birthday, but I think you're doing just great. I know you're not in the area right now, and just give you a big hug. Laura, big hug to you, too. I love you guys. I really do. Hi, Mary. Thank you for being here. Linnell, Patricia, so good to see you too. Hi, Terry, Valerie, Kathleen, Susan. Hello, it's been a while. Great to see you. And you too, Cindy and Diane and Mary Ann and Nancy. And I'm not sure what I'm reading, right? Oh, thanks for coming on, Kathy D. Friends, listen, if you're in the Buffalo area, great opportunity. It's on my Facebook page. Kathy Darnell is a master at crystal healing. She's having a class on Tuesday night at the Sage Center in Kenmore. Details are on my site. Please take advantage of Kathy Darnell, long-term friend and long-term master of crystal healing. One more thing. I'm starting out these spiritual strolls. Can't forget this, got to promote myself, doing the first spiritual stroll on Friday at 6:30. That's 2 days from now. We meet at the Garrison Park. We tell stories. We give spiritual messages. It's a lot of fun. I've been doing that with my son, Adam Godine, for a couple of years. Spiritual strolls, a tour of the beautiful hamlet of Williamsville. The details will be on my website, and I apologize. I've been a little bit under the weather, like I said, so you'll be getting some emails from me in the next 24 hours with all the new classes and etc. So let's do some spiritual stuff, friends. Dear God, please allow me to serve. Please allow my words be filled with love and light, truth, inspiration, and healing for the highest and for the best as we align ourselves with the Holy Spirit. And I am with Candy Clark. Okay. All right, my dear. Candy, you got your wish. My thumb came to you. As I'm tuning into, and I'm glad you're welcome to share with me your astrology as well. I'm feeling a lot of anxiety in my solar plexus here, Candy, as I'm tuning into your energy. It could possibly be because you're an Aries moon, but I'm feeling that there's been a lot on your plate for loved ones, that you are a giver, a provider of assistance to a lot of people, and you're feeling a little worn out. Please take care of yourself this weekend and know and do a little mantra. I'm always doing the best I can do for the people I care about. You do get a little bit of a revelation on this full moon. And if there, I'm in the stomach area. I'm not a doctor, but I'm feeling just some anxiety here, and it can be even some physiological issues regarding digestion. Okay, but there's some path to some new calmness and digestive balance as we move forward the next week. Number one. Number two, I'm talking to a father figure on the other side of life who is very, at times, a little pushy, a little, type A. And, but he's coming with a great smile to you and saying that you remind him of him because you never quit. He never quit. He never quit when he was ill. He kept on He kept on fighting. He was a fighter. He may have been in the service. I'm not sure, but I'm just saying that he's saying that sometimes warriors have to rest as well. So he's approaching your concern about taking care of everybody. Sometimes you have to rest as well. And I'm also picking up a visual image with you, Candy, regarding outdoor landscaping or trying to take care of things before the frost comes. And that is your happy place, outside, gardening, taking care of those types of things. Maybe planting some bulbs for the spring. I'll leave that with many blessings for you. Okay. I'm with Sheila Louise. Hello. I don't think I've ever read for you, but welcome, Sheila Louise. Just say yes. Oh, you forgot Capricorn. Thank you, Candy. Before I go to you, Sheila, I forgot Capricorn. Capricorn is about career this upcoming full moon, and I so apologize. We never forget the Caps, right? Capricorns are the old goats, and sometimes they're young goats, and they're all about authority. So we want to honor Capricorn with your career and with this upcoming career energy in your career house with the full moon. The Pisces, I think I misspoke. The Pisces is about retreat and relaxation. Capricorns are having the full moon illuminate their career. Thank you for that, Candy. Sheila, as I'm tuning in to you tonight, I want to make sure you said yes. Okay. Okay, thank you, Sheila. As I'm tuning into you, and thank you for telling me that you are a Scorpio. Me too. Yay, Scorpio. The first thing I want to say to you is that you've been sitting on a very strong, I want to say, spiritual creative project since 2022. Okay, I want to go back to 2022, go back to the whole year of 2022. And life kind of got away from you. And you had this goal, you had this idea, you had this, and I get the word creative, like you're drawing or writing or doing something really cool. And I'm also working with your hands and creating things. And life got away from you. And you have another opportunity at this birthday season coming up around your birthday, whether you be an October or a November birthday. It feels like you're a November birthday. But please be gentle with yourself and don't punish yourself for not having gotten around to doing this project. I hope you understand this, Sheila. Number one. Number two, I'm picking up a very sensitive and sometimes anxious woman on the other side of life. When I say anxiety, I mean she just was afraid about many things. And I don't think she's mom, but she could be an aunt, but she's on the mother side of the family. And she's saying that you are so fabulous because you don't let people know or see your anxiety, but that you have found peace in, again, this creative activity that you do. And she's coming in, I think she passed a while ago, upwards of, 6 to 10 years ago. And she's coming in and she's saying that she loves it when you think of her, pray to her or for her, not to her, but pray for her. And she says, your gentle spirit is one of the things that she always connected with when she was alive. And she's absolutely fine. And she just wants to give you a big spiritual hug. And sometimes you have thought of her and a certain scene in the sky, especially, will come up with some birds and some beautiful colors in the setting sun or rising sun, which makes you think of this particular woman who had a lot of anxiety. And I leave that with many blessings to you, Sheila. I hope that makes sense. Feel free to give me feedback. All right. Hi, Jennifer B. Hello. Okay, Candy, I'm correct with that. Okay. Everyone, please put your hands up and give Candy a lot of healing energy for her surgery. You're going to be just fine, sweetie. Okay. And that's why I'm feeling anxiety. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. Prayers. Oh, you're so welcome, Kathy. Yes. Yes, Kathy Darnell. And you can go to her page too. I'm sure she has the information there as well. God bless you guys. And I'm so glad you're here. Have a beautiful week. Remember, the full moon is a time of revelation and illumination, and peaking on the 6th. And think of yourself being wrapped in a ceremonial blanket of light. Many blessings and have a great time. Bye now.